If you pay attention to the stories of the near-death experiences, they're all just about the same with small variations. But here in the audience, we have a person who had a very different experience, or he took it to the next level with the beings, and I would like to share this with you. I put his story in my book, the short version of his story. I hope that one day he's going to write a book with all the juicy details, but right now, for the sake of time, and you not getting too tired here, I would like to have a quick interview with him for him to tell us about specifics of his experience, because it was different than the rest of them. Logan, come on up.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for being here, everyone. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
So, this is Logan. When I was writing the book, we just happened to have a conversation about near-death experiences, and I would like to ask you, Logan, so when your near-death experience started, what was the beginning and who greeted you there? What was the very beginning of that?
It was the huge blast of white light,
right.
Very intense, blinding, and almost paralyzing, and a big booming godlike voice making statements towards me.
Yeah. What kind of statements?
It's time to come home, Logan. It's time to come back. Come back to us.
To them in the dimension?
Okay. Towards the light, yeah.
Oh, very nice. Okay. So pay attention to the details. Big, white, booming, almost overwhelming kind of light.
Very, I don't say impositional or intense, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like, whoa.
Okay. And so what happened after that?
I said, no, I'm just going to stay right here. Like, I don't know what's going on, so I'm just going to chill. Like,
okay.
And then it became very insistent, asked again, it's time, you have to, so on and so forth. And there was encouragement for me to come back. And I just said no, like, I just passed away and I don't know what's going on, and I'm going to chill, like, so.
And so you resisted?
Yes.
Okay, and so what happened next?
So the more I resisted and the more I just went into myself and I just stayed calm, the light started to fade and kind of disappear. And then as I went into my own internal energy, I heard a voice way far away as my senses expanded, and it said, he's figuring it out.
He's figuring it out. Okay.
And I was like, what? And yeah.
And then who appeared after that?
And so after that, I felt the presence of maybe 3 other beings.
Three. Always 3. If you pay attention, they're always 3. And what were they like?
They were trying to be friendly and calm. And
did you feel the love coming from them?
There was an attempt of what you would call love, I would say, but it almost became what felt like car salesmen.
Right.
Like just all over you, and what about this? What about that?
Okay,
yeah.
So the love, a lot of people with near-death experiences report that they feel this overwhelming love when the beings come to them. But the way they surrounded you, right? That didn't
very close, no space, like I just wanted to just be chill and still, yeah.
Right. So he could see all the way through that projection of love that a lot of us are so starved for the true connection, for the true love here on earth, that what they produce there, that just opens us right up, and we're ready to do just about anything that they tell us. So what happened after this?
So what began was a series of questions or offers of would I like to do this, would I like to do that.
What did they offer you?
They wanted me to come back as a human,
right.
And I said, I don't even know what you are, and so what if we make you really powerful? What if we make you give you lots of women, or give you lots of money, or give you beautiful opportunities, or so on and so forth? And I said, no, like I just passed away, or I left my human body. I feel like it's gone, and I don't want to go back to Earth. I'm cool, like I'm good, yeah. So
okay, so see now we're kind of on the line here that selling the soul to the devil. Is this what this is sound like? Like, oh, what if we make you powerful? Would you go back? So he keeps resisting. What happens after that?
I started to become very strong in my resistance because I just wanted to have peace. I wanted to be calm. I just wanted to relax, and they wouldn't leave me alone. So my energy started to get a little frustrated. And then they noticed that, and they said, "Oh, okay. Well, if you don't want to do the human, how about another planet? We can put you on like another planet where you, be a little easier. It'll be a little more comfortable."
Did they show you the planet?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So describe that. How was that?
It was. I just remember the planet was like. It was kind of blue, or like.
What was the feeling?
It was a little lighter. It was like, it felt like, oh, it'd be nicer. This would be nicer.
Right.
And I almost like considered it, and then I said, no, like I don't even know, like why? This is not what I'm looking for right now.
Okay. So here's another part that no one talks about: that extraterrestrial beings and the planets that are on the same level of consciousness as Earth plane, which we'll say, let's say, between 3.1 D, third dimension, to 4.9 D, on the fifth dimension, the developing world, so to speak. They have their reincarnation cycles, and they also participate in ours. So how is this that he received an offer that, oh, we can send you to another planet that would be a little better. So from like 3D here, maybe 3.5D to 4, it all felt a little lighter, but still not exactly what he wanted. I go more into these details in my book, where I describe people's experiences that I witnessed as a healer, where there were the beings, the non-terrestrial beings, literally present. And there were two tunnels, the tunnel of white light and the tunnel with blue light with beings there. So there'll be more details in the book about that. The book is very short to the point, but you will find more details. So what ended up happening after all this?
I was able to go like beyond time and space in the higher form, and kind of zoned in on those beings, and they seemed happier, but they still felt like there was some type of structure system where it was like I wouldn't
some sort of entrapment.
It wasn't full freedom, and something was going
on.
And then so after that, they started to get a little frustrated with me, and I was just trying to find my bearings and maybe get away from them. But then all of a sudden, before me, like an illusion appeared in that non-time and space, and it was like an endless vault doors that they kept going in like all directions, no matter where I looked, and so that kind of encased my
And
experience.
this is called the astral plane maze. They send him into the maze within the astral plane. I'll explain that in a minute. Okay.
And so I started to pull away from them because I'm just done. Like it just feels like vultures, or I don't know what's going on. I'm going to move. So I just floated, and I went to just going down this hall and checking all these vault doors, and there's lights above all these vault doors, and I hear them chattering and try to come up with something else, or so on and so forth. But then as I continued down the corridor, I noticed a different light. It looked different, and it seemed like, oh, well, it's different than all these other dozens or hundreds of these lights, so this must be the way out of here.
You felt pretty stressed by that time.
Yeah, I was just getting frustrated, so I was like, okay, whatever, what is this? And so I go in the vault door with the other light, and I said, okay, maybe this is my way out. But instead of me going out and up and away, I felt a huge gravitational or magnetic pulling me down. I heard maybe an internal voice or a higher voice. As soon as I heard the first word, I felt like trust in real love, not a fake love or not a conditional love. It was an unconditional love, and it told me very calmly, very relaxed. It said, follow the true light.
How did you get back in the body? How did you end up back?
So after I heard that voice, that's when I felt a sense of calm, and I felt I could trust. And then so as I started to do that, and it was like then I came back to my Earth body, had attempted suicide, and I lived through it. So yeah.
Okay, so when he was told look for the true light, he found the door or the light that looked different. But as he pulled himself into that, he started dropping. Is it, the feeling like the elevator going down and boom,
Sinking
like
feeling in your stomach. It was awful. Yeah.
Next thing he knew, he was in his body again. So what happened here was that he went through a few rounds of these interactions, and he didn't want to go back, but he still was kind of tricked to go back. Did you know how to astral project at that point?
I did, yeah.
And what did you experience when you did astral project?
Yeah.
What did you experience?
So in my astral projection experiences, very curious. I wanted to go as far as I could possibly go from the Earth. I just said, well, there's so much cool stuff, and I've astral projected up here and there on Earth. But then I said, well, what's beyond? Let's go check out other planets and places. And so as I send like a rocket in my energy bodies, I enter like I remember the first time it felt like a gel or like it just got really sticky, and I'm like trying to push my way through it. And then I guess the word that came to me was like there's like a firmament, or there's like a something surrounding
the planet.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And every time I'd go to that firmament, there was always some type of being I'd run into that would say, try to direct my attention back down, whereas I'm trying to go back up. Okay. And it would do it with different questions or different forms or.
All right, and so here we have the astral plane surrounding the Earth, and people who are astral projecting very often report hitting like a glass ceiling, or the experience is different. In his case, it's like a sticky kind of thing. I did astral projection for years. This is where I started, from being about 17 years old to like 24, because I didn't know that there was something else that was available. And did you believe that you had to go through the astral plane?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. And so the reason he went into the whole afterlife thing and the experience with the beings was because he believed that he could not bypass the astral plane. He had to fight through that layer, or try to bounce off of that layer, get through that layer. All right. So let's give Logan a round of applause. This was his first time. Thank you, Logan. This was his first time sharing his story in front of the group. I kind of startled him with this idea because I really want him to come out and start speaking about his experiences.